Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today at Brand Innovators. Today, we're going to talk to a tremendous amount of brands that are, looking at and considering the metaverse. We're going to talk a little bit about some themes for the metaverse. And before I get started, I just want to thank everyone for being here today. We're really excited to be here talking about this new and exciting channel that we think has just tremendous amount of opportunities for brands as we continue into the future. And without further ado, what I really wanted to do was kick off a little bit today about, kind of what Admix is and how we think about the metaverse, how we approach it. Not so much, I really don't want this to be a sales pitch, but more so just to give everybody a little credibility about what we do and kind of our capabilities, to give you an idea of the types of services that are out there and that brands can lean into to get the guidance and assistance that they need. So I am going to share my screen real quickly here, and bear with me. Of course, love Zoom. I can't find what I'm looking for, right? Wouldn't that always be the case? Okay, hold on one second. There we go. There we are. So I'm going to share my screen here. Hopefully everybody can see. And really what we're doing here at Admix is that we say that we're building your dreams in the metaverse. We really talk about being a guide to help brands into the metaverse, where they should be going, how they should be thinking about it, what are the different areas that they should be focused on when entering into the metaverse. And for us, really, we talk about, authenticity to your brand and authenticity to the community and the platform that you're on. And what we really do is we build within every platform. We have over 100 properties across 4 different platforms right now that are all Web3 platforms. We have the capability and the team to really, the way our focus is, it's a very simple approach. It's land, we own land, we help build. We build, we have the largest team of builders in the metaverse and Web3, and then we help grow and activate and extend that. So it's really a full stack offering to brands in terms of how you should be thinking about and approaching it. We're there along every step of the process. So there's a couple of different platforms that we'll talk about today, and you'll hear about if you haven't. I'd say probably the biggest ones that are discussed out there are Sandbox, Decentraland, Sumnum Space. There's a few more that are coming up, and we're capable of building within all of those. We'll give some examples within those as well. Here's some examples of some of the builds that we've done. This one in particular, this is in Decentraland. It's a little bit of a look and feel of what that looks like. And then hold on one second. And then, so our model, as I mentioned, is really, we own land across 4 different metaverse platforms. We build brand experiences on that land. And then, again, as I mentioned, we strategize and grow and support those activations, which is really important. Each of these steps are really critical to the success that you'll be looking for as you, what's the right word to look for it, as you bring your brand into the metaverse, because no longer are brands advertising at consumers any longer. They're now inviting them in to experience your brand in a new and exciting way and telling that story. So there's a lot of storytelling involved there. And it's really important not only to know where you want to be within the different various metaverse platforms, but also how you want to build your experience, and then really what is it that you're doing to keep people coming back. You have to really think of it from a experiential marketing standpoint. And from that perspective, once somebody's been through your experience, how else can you engage them? How else can you keep them coming back so that they're enjoying the experience and interacting with your brand in the right way? And just to give you an example of some of the brands that we've worked with, Heineken, L'Oreal, Tyson, Havas, a variety of these. It really runs the gambit, everything from literally helping them buy land into the metaverse, or actually leasing land from us and then doing a short-term activation and then building experiences within each of those. So there's so many different ways to enter the metaverse. There is no linear straight way to do it, but that is really the way that we've been helping guide brands into the metaverse. And here's some of the ideas that we come up with from that we share with clients. A lot of them are sketches initially to make sure that we're on the same page with what it is the overall theme is going to be and what kind of activation you want to have within the metaverse, which is really an entire process that you want to go through before we start building and really ideate and make sure everything is aligned with both, again, the community and also your brand. Here's an example of something that we did with Heineken. So it's a question of just getting out there and building and making sure, again, that it's the look and feel that you want and that you have the activities and integration that you're looking for within the experience. And then we also will build mocks. So here's an example of some mocks that we built for a European football club, just to give them a look and feel of what it would be, and really the consumers to walk around and experience the brand firsthand in this new channel. And then as we go back into, another example, here are some ideas of things that we've built, that we've sketched out when we're helping our brand clients into the metaverse in terms of really that entire process. We view this again from a creative perspective. So we're talking about really ideating and bringing that to life and visualizing it. And then what is it that it's going to be like from a sample of your brand? What's the experience going to be like from a consumer standpoint? And again, then we activate these experiences. You can do club activations, you could do branded experiences, and you can just do pure sponsorships within your experience. So it's really just a question. We really focus from a standpoint of outcomes. What are the outcomes you're looking for? And then we take a step back and then we build towards those outcomes, because as many of you may or may not know, measurement is still very nascent. The entire space is very nascent, and it's really important to make sure that you have your goals set up front so that you can track and measure those as best as possible. Here's an example of something that we're building within late Q2. It's a 3D, what we call the verse, that we're building to help guide brands through the different activations that they can do as examples, and actually physically walk them through within Decentraland, and then actually go on and build something as an example, or reskin it so that you can see what your brand looks like there from that perspective. And then beyond that, then later in Q2, we're talking about building mini versions within each island of specific categories, so that you can see what other folks within your category are doing. But not only that, to bring it to life so that you can see how within your specific category there's different activations that can really engage with consumers. And so these are things that we're really trying to do that make it a much more meaningful and rich experience from a brand perspective. And then again, I talked about this before, but how is it that you grow within the metaverse and within this experience? It's one thing to say that you've built something and that you're there, or you own land, or that you're running an activation, but it's a completely different experience once you actually physically have that built. It's important to understand that, as I mentioned before, you have to make sure that consumers are coming back. You have to keep giving them a reason to keep coming back, because once they've been through that experience, if you're not changing it on a fairly frequent basis, there's no reason for those consumers to come back. And there's a variety of different strategies, from NFTs and wearables that can help, and quests that you can take consumers on within these branded experiences, that are all really important to make sure that there's enough activity and excitement going on, and that you can really engage with those consumers and tell that narrative and that different story about your brand. And here's just, again, some examples. You can host a panel. We're launching a major event here shortly, and we're producing a number of panels. So you can do those. You can do concerts, as many people have seen. And so it's really just a question about what the outcomes you're looking for and building it towards that. The other thing that we've really talked about is a lot of the folks that are in consumers that are coming into the metaverse may be doing so for the first time. And it's really important that when they get there, they understand why they would need to go upstairs, what they can expect from the experience, and directional places that they should go, either through signage or NPCs, which are non-playing characters, to answer questions for consumers. So they're not wandering around within your space, but they really understand what they're supposed to be doing there and how the brand can really engage with them. So that was, again, just a quick overview of the way that we view the metaverse and how we help brands and help guide them. There's a number of other issues that go on that I could talk about for a long time to think about. But if I could really let anybody know and walk away with some top key points, and first and foremost, be authentic to your brand and be authentic to the platform. It really is important. Within this community, consumers are very vocal in terms of what they like and they don't like, and you want to make sure that you're as authentic as possible. And then also you need to think about where you want to be and how you really want to execute, and what your brand wants to be represented as. There's, as I mentioned, Sandbox and Decentraland. I'll just use those as examples. The brand experience within Decentraland is a much more graphically rich, and even though gamified, as realistic as possible as we can get within the metaverse today, versus Sandbox, which is running in seasons, but also is a more gamified look and feel, more like a Minecraft. So I think that it's really important, and that's where we help guide brands is, what do you want the experience to be like from a consumer standpoint, and how comfortable are you with the way that your brand would be visually demonstrated within the platform. So, and then also the last thing is that the metaverse is growing and expanding every day. There are new metaverse platforms that are currently being worked on that will be launched within the next couple of months. So stay tuned. I think that the biggest opportunity for brands right now is to get in early and test and learn through these experiences, know what works and resonates with your audience. And then, as new platforms pop up, test them out and be able to be open-minded to understand that your audience could be in a variety of different metaverse platforms and not just one over the other. So anyway, we've got a great and exciting opportunity to listen to a number of different brand marketers in terms of what they've learned and how they're experiencing and thinking about the metaverse. Again, I'm Marty Berman. I'm Vice President of North American and LATAM Sales at Admix. And thank you so much for spending time with us today. So without further ado, we're going to go right into our next panelist, where I'd like to invite Jonathan Camel, who's on my team. He is going to, or actually, I apologize, it's going to be Bill Ember, who's going to talk with some folks. And like to thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to transition to the next session and go from there. Thanks so much.